Samsung have thrown a lot of their resources at AI in the Galaxy S24 series. We know that AI stands for artificial intelligence, but what exactly does that mean in the context of a smartphone? And how does it actually change how we're going to use our smartphone? Daniel here from SamMobile TV, and today we are going to answer the question, just what is Galaxy AI? For the longest time, smartphone companies have been throwing out NPU numbers, AI improvements onto their launches and their launch events. Largely, they're all about predicting usage patterns to optimize settings on the phone or recognizing objects in your camera so it can boost contrast and change HDR, for example. But this year, with the launch of the Galaxy S24, Samsung is implementing AI in a way we've never really seen on a smartphone before. Samsung pretty much believes now is the right time to accelerate AI within our smartphones. And the features they've released fundamentally can change how we use and interact with our phones every single day. So to look at it, I'm separating the AI features into two different categories: lifestyle and productivity. Let's kick things off with lifestyle and see how that's going to change things. The features in here have the potential to change how you interact and socialize with family and friends and the world around you. That might sound a little bit over the top, but let me show you the features. Starting with a pair of, in this context, quite basic AI functions, Samsung have implemented some ways to change photos, both in gallery and with wallpapers. With the photos, Samsung have pretty much done it in the most entry-level basic way possible, which its whole idea and purpose is to fix crooked images. So if you've ever taken a bad photo and it's in a crooked nature and you've cut off something in the photo because of its crookedness, Samsung have built in a generative button in the photo editor to allow you to fix that mistake. Simply press the generative edit button, and once you're in this menu, drag the slider down the bottom to fix the crooked mistake. It can go 15 degrees either way, and then the gaps that it generates from doing that, you hit generate, and it will process in the cloud ways to fix that. Samsung will do their best guess to process and fill in the gaps, and this implementation is quite simple. There obviously is more that you can do here, but right now, I guess it doesn't need to overwhelm consumers. This is just a way to dip your toe into the water to generate photos using AI. You can also edit objects within the photo. So if it's something that shouldn't be there or something needs to be moved, you can select it and then move it around the photo, make it bigger, or remove it entirely. Once you've chosen which way you want to go and you hit generate, again, Samsung's AI and cloud service will do its best guess to fill in the gaps and spit out a photo for you. The thing is, with AI, when you save a copy of the image, you'll see in the bottom left corner a watermark left on the photo. This watermark is here no matter where you share the photo. So just be cautious of that, because this is to let people know this is an AI generated image. Samsung have also enabled a generative wallpaper service. Not content with just the wallpapers that might be on your phone, in the wallpaper settings, you can select the creative heading. Under here are a bunch of different categories that you have the opportunity to alter using AI. Again, Samsung have limited this. You might think you can just enter whatever prompt you want and it'll spit out an image for you. But Samsung have been quite clever in restricting how you can alter this. Once you select your theme and you select your image, you can then alter a couple of different fields within the prompt that has been provided for you. You can change the color, you can change the sort of setting or the backdrop, and you can change the sort of feel of the photo. Samsung will then generate a few different wallpaper options for you and allow you to then save it as a wallpaper, or if you're not happy, pick new options and generate it again. These, of course, are quite basic iterations of AI, especially with what we can see with other sort of generative AI in other apps. This is definitely not as extensive as what you've seen in other places. But I think just from a starting point, Samsung have gone the right way in not making it more than what it needs to be. The rest of the lifestyle functions definitely have more of a social benefit than these ones, which are a bit more of a playful social media style thing. The next ones have more of a social communication benefit. First one is Live Translate. Samsung have gone all out with this one, and the best part about it is it processes it using the phone's chipset itself. Samsung have improved the NPU on their phones to enable on-device processing, which is great. So the whole premise of this, let's say you've got a family member that lives in the country, or you have their phone number and you speak to them often, you can call them up, you can translate your language into their language, and then their language into your language without anyone needing to learn the other person's language. The phone will pick up your language translate it on the fly, and send them the translated version with a voice. In the settings of this, there's a whole bunch of things you can enable. You can change the voice of yours, you can change the speed of the voice that's being transmitted across, you can change whether or not you want both your language and their language to be sent, or just yours. Completely up to you. Here's a bit of a snippet of how it works. Hello.
Ciao, è in corso la traduzione della chiamata e l'aggiunta di sottotitoli in tempo reale.
Ciao, come stai? I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Io sono brava, grazie. Come stai?
Very, very good. Excuse my poor Italian. This is a bit of a game changer for phone calls and communication because it's not limited by the language anymore. You can speak to someone who doesn't speak your language and it'll work. Samsung have also built an app for this. So if you're actually in person with someone, it'll do the same on-device processing to translate language, which is a really great app too, because Samsung have built some clever little functions in here. Things like being able to press a button and it flips the card around. So if you're talking opposite someone, they can read it and speak into that end and you into this end, and everyone can read and interact with it properly. I like this one a lot. The translation also extends into messaging apps. So Samsung have built into their keyboard the translate function as well. So this for now works with Samsung Messages, Google Messages, and definitely in some third-party apps like WhatsApp, for example, are supporting this too. So again, if you're wanting to message someone and you want them to just see their language, you can turn on translate. You type in your language, no problem, and hit send, and then it will send them their language. Simple. No more of this back and forth of going to Google Translate, typing in your language, copying, pasting the translated version out, and then sending it. None of that. Just literally do it this way and send it, and then you receive back in your language as well. Again, there's settings that you can enable to turn off seeing their language too, but it doesn't really matter. The fact that you can do this and it's all processed on the device, amazing. Within the keyboard too, you can change the entire tone of the message. So if you've ever sent someone a message that's too aggressive, or you type out a message and you go, oh, that sounds a little bit passive aggressive, you can use Samsung's keyboard to change the tone of the message that you're about to send. Whether it be an email, whether it be a text message, you can do it because it's built into the keyboard, not necessarily an app. When you do press writing styles, it will highlight the text and then generate a whole bunch of different tones for you. Casual, professional, polite, they're all in there. And then you simply just have to hit replace and it will replace what you wrote with the ones that you see in the list. This can make someone who's not very nice sound nicer because it actually does change the tone of the message, and casual is probably the one I'm going to go with myself. And the bottom one in here is to do with spelling and grammar. Now, spell check already exists, especially with the fact we have Grammarly built into Samsung keyboard already. But using the spelling and grammar with the AI in the keyboard, it can actually replace the entire paragraph. So rather than just needing to go through word by word your errors, this will go through the whole paragraph, make a new paragraph with everything correct, and you just hit replace. Again, this is another great thing for emails, for notes files, because you don't have to think. The AI is doing all the thinking for you, saving you time so you can focus on other things. It's a social communication tool that allows you to communicate more effectively with your friends and your family. The other AI function within lifestyle is something that Samsung collaborated with Google quite heavily on. They call it circle to search. And the reason why they call it that is because that's exactly what you do. Let's say you've stumbled upon an image and you'd like to know a little bit more about it, whether that be a location, like it's a restaurant, or it's a product that you want to buy. There's no information other than the image itself. Using Circle to Search, you can find out more about it. It's very easy to use. You simply hold down the home button area, whether you have the navigation buttons turned on or just the nav bar. Hold down and it'll bring up the Circle to Search function. And then you do that. Circle the subject, and then within less than seconds, all the search items and results appear. Whether that be a product landing page, whether that be an information page, it's combed through the internet and spat out those results. Really, really great, especially if you're someone who uses social media apps a lot. Sometimes it's really hard to find information off a one-word caption. So this option allows you to search the image, not try and dig a little bit deeper through the depths of the internet. The other aspect to the AI functions that Samsung have enabled is to do with productivity. And this is where I think you can get a lot more time back using some of these functions that Samsung have enabled. That might sound a little bit over the top again, but honestly, they've done it really cleverly and actually incorporated time-saving measures and features into their AI. I want to start first with how you can summarize things. If you're someone who reads a lot of news articles, sometimes they drag on. They're really, really long. I myself read a lot of sports reports, football match reports. And again, you can get caught up in some of the nuances of the article that don't really matter to the end result of the game. Using Samsung Internet and the AI built in the toolbar, you can summarize the entire web page. It is incredible how good it is. When you hit summarize, it'll read through the article and then build into some bullet points the key parts of that article. So you can just read that this person scored and then this happened in the game, this was their result, done. Or if you want it a little bit more detailed, you press the button at the top right corner, changes to detailed, and it'll add a bit more in, a bit more extra, minutes, red card, potentially, things that matter a little bit more to the story. And the thing is, from here, you can copy and paste this anywhere. You can translate this if you want. It can go anywhere because it's a body of text that you can interact with. Within Samsung Internet too, you can translate entire web pages. I know we've had features like that before, but they've either been clunky or they kind of override the text and change the formatting of the web page. Not this one. This one will change nothing apart from the text and the language that you see. It'll keep the formatting of the website. It'll even keep the ads and translate the ads as well. It's like you're in that country and launched it straight from there. Amazing. Samsung haven't just kept it though for Samsung Internet. Something that's been probably one of Samsung's most underrated apps is Samsung Notes. And what they've done is they've built AI directly into the Notes toolbar as well. So to start with, they also have summarize in here. So you could summarize an entire Notes file if you wish. There's a limit to it, but it still can do a whole bunch of text and give you the bullet points again in the short or the detailed version. The thing I really like though is auto format. You can choose auto format and it'll do it into meeting notes or something else different entirely. The thing I really like is it actually formats it with different headings, different looks and feels. I absolutely love this. And I can see myself using this for when I'm writing scripts for this YouTube, for example. It's going to be a big game changer and it'll change productivity because you can then export Samsung Notes files into PDFs, Word documents, whatever you like. They've also built in the spelling and grammar and translate feature into Samsung Notes too. So it's not just in the keyboard and in Samsung Internet, it's also in Samsung Notes too. The last productivity feature that I want to highlight with Galaxy AI is in the voice recorder, strangely enough. Samsung have built in transcriptions, but it's not just a case of, oh, we'll analyze what you're saying and transcribe it after the fact. It's the actual fact that they can transcribe and then separate by speaker. So it'll use AI to detect the different voices that are being spoken into the voice recorder memo and then transcribe speaker 1, speaker 2, speaker 1, speaker 2, speaker 3 into the transcription itself. And then once it's done that, you can summarize the transcription. So then it will take out key points and put that into a summary. So if you're doing a whole meeting and you want to send out a summary of that meeting, the voice recorder app will do it for you. You don't have to listen to the whole meeting again or go through and read the whole transcription. Let AI on your S24 series do it for you. Samsung have thrown in some really clever, effective, and innovative AI features into Galaxy S24. I think they haven't just thrown AI in the popular sense, the stuff that generates all the headlines. They've put in some truly useful and efficient features that will change your behavior with your smartphone. They're not just showy chatbots or generate images with funny prompts. These are truly things that you can use in your day-to-day. We will have plenty more S24 coverage here on SamMobile TV, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video as well. Go and check out our website because that is where we'll have wall-to-wall coverage on everything to do with Galaxy S24 and more, including software as well. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.